So this is the first in hopefully what will be a series of interviews with Ballintubber people all around the world since there's no football on. So I'm joined here now from Sydney by a man who has represented Ballintubber at every age grade. He was part of the 2010, 2011 and 2014 county title victories, and he also captained us in 2017. So from Sydney, Australia, I'm joined here by Danny Geraghty. Danny, how's things out there?
Oisin, what's the crack? Things are pretty good here now. Yeah, everything's back to nearly normal, so it's going pretty well.
Yeah, what sort of action did they take out in Australia, or was it done? Did each charity have a different approach, or how was life affected for you?
Personally, I assumed that Australia would be pretty bad, given that there's a lot of Chinese tourists in Australia, but we haven't had much cases. I think any death is pretty bad, but 100 deaths and about 5,000-6,000 cases. The main thing that they did to stop the spread was anyone who came into the country was met by the army and brought into hotel rooms, and they were strictly in isolation. So they were no way of really spreading it. There was a few issues now with other things getting spread, but after that came in, you really seen the difference of stopping the spread of the virus. So it's pretty good. Back to more or less nearly normal at this stage.
Yeah, and you've been working away all the time, you were saying.
Yeah, working, haven't stopped. I had a week at work at home, and then other than that, in the office, just been spread out. Just trying to keep the social distancing on site, and in the office it's part of the way it is now at the moment. So we were lucky enough that we didn't stop at work. There was rumours that we would, but thank God we didn't get hit too bad.
So you've been out in Australia for a couple of years now, and so how had you been finding life before the virus struck?
Before the virus struck, life has been pretty good. Yeah, it's a good lifestyle. The football is fairly good then during the winter time. Usually this time of year, you'd have your fixtures done out. There'd be no changing, really chopping and changing. So that's fairly good. And then working away, and then you'll have your weekends then to do what you want. If you want to go up the coast, or even in Sydney, the beaches here, and just more or less relaxing. Do your work and then relax.
And when you say winter, do you mean our winter, or what time of year are we talking about that you play football?
Oh, sorry, Australian winter. So usually the football starts in around February in Sydney, and you have a few pre-season competitions, and then usually everyone goes down to Melbourne for the Melbourne Sevens, which is just, yeah, it's a good standard of football. All Australian clubs go, but it's more of a team building weekend. And then you've the league that goes on from March until probably May, and then you've championship then from June until July, August, and then that's it. So you've pre-season in January, but the weather in January is you're talking mid-30s usually, so it's fairly intense and hard enough to get used to it.
So do you try and get out like really early in the morning to try and avoid that?
Yeah, so all the games are on Sundays. So the first match will be 9:30 Sunday morning. So that's a bit of a change. And the last game would probably be about 1 or 2 o'clock. So if you're playing at 1 or 2, you might have an extra hour or two in bed, but you're paying for it. Then you won't be able to do anything for the day if you're running around in that heat. It's torture.
I can imagine. And what's the GAA community like out there? I'd imagine it's much the same as it is here.
It's similar enough. Now I'm playing with Clonagale at the moment. A couple of Mayo lads were playing when I landed over Mayo Ford, Ballycastle, and Shane Kane from Cross Carolina. So me and a few lads that I'm here with joined up with them. So it's a fairly tight community. If you need help with work, or if you need anything really, they're there to help you and kind of help you out in any way they can. So they're fairly good and kind of everyone's similar enough. So you go for a few pints, then after the game, socialise with a few people around. So it's pretty good.
Yeah, and how has the virus affected sport and the GAA out there? I presume it's been come to a halt
Well,
temporarily.
I think it was around Paddy's Day, everything kind of stopped, and everything was cancelled, and until then nothing's been happening. Now you can go for your training sessions in groups of 10, keeping your social distancing, but we're not too sure what's going to happen with the championship or any fixtures or anything like that, because I don't know, will there be much games played if there's still social distancing? Can you keep that while you're playing football? I don't know. I'm not too sure what will happen. So we'll see. We'll wait and see what happens. Probably another month. I'd say end of June we'll know more. If we can get any games in, it'll be a bonus. Really.
And how would you feel about going back? Would you be apprehensive about catching anything, or what's the kind of general feeling among the GA community out there?
Yeah. Well, I can only speak really for myself. If everything was above board and the government said you can fire away and play the games, I don't think I'd have much of a problem with it. No, it's a very up in the air subject. Not many people know about the virus or anything. So it's a kind of up in the air, really. Play it by ear.
And what's it been like over the past couple of years watching Ballintubber then from a distance? I presume you must miss it.
Yeah. Jeez, I definitely don't miss the pre-season and the back pitch.
I can imagine.
Up to my knees in mud, wearing a windbreaker, trousers, skins, everything, trying to keep the heat in. But
you definitely weren't wearing a tank top anyway.
No. Yeah. If pre-season here is a lot different. You'd miss around championship time. Usually when the championship gets going, you'll start missing it. And you'll be hearing the brothers back home talking about it, and you'd miss it then, but you'd miss that time of year, not the running pre-season time of year. Definitely not.
Yeah, I don't think there's anyone that enjoys that, certainly. And obviously, with flights and everything like suspended for the next couple of months, do you see yourself coming back anytime in the near future, or is there that kind of a longing to wear the red jersey once more?
There is that longing to do it. I don't know how much good I'll be compared to what's there at the moment. But yeah, I wouldn't mind. Possibly, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Possibly next year, maybe towards summertime there, maybe look to go back. But you don't really know how the virus is going to affect economies and jobs and bits and pieces like that. You'd love to go back and play for Ballintubber, but you can't really go back and just play Ballintubber and sit there and not be able to work or do anything like that. But yeah, definitely, I'd love to get the chance to go back and play.
Great. And before we go, is there anyone you want to shout out to?
Shout out to, geez, I don't know how many people will be well looking. Probably the granny. She's obviously all grandparents haven't been finding it difficult these past couple of weeks and months. So hopefully Mary Kate is doing well across the road, and probably the family as well. And yeah, everyone back in Ballintubber. Hopefully keep safe. Nothing major happens.
Yeah, great stuff. Listen, take care in the meantime, Danny. And lastly, before we go, I just want to thank everyone on behalf of the club for supporting our lotto over the past couple of weeks. We would really strongly urge you to try and support our lotto online if you can at all. It really is the lifeblood of the club at the moment. So feel free to go online and play our weekly lotto, which is streamed on Facebook Live. It's really important, more so now than ever. Okay. Thanks again, Danny.
Thanks, Oisin. Have a good one.